Hello everyone and welcome to TGP2. I am your commentator tonight, Kieran, and I welcome you back to TGP2. It has been a while. I apologise I haven't been here. I was in Portugal on a holiday and so I've been busy. So what have we missed out on? So we're going to go straight to the calendar because the last I was here, it was, I think, Bahrain and Belgium. So Deck won Bahrain, CJ won Belgium. And then we had the mystery week last week where none of the drivers knew what races it was going to be. And the races were Netherlands and China, where Lewis won the Netherlands and China, Deck, once again surprising everyone. Another win in China. So we have tonight Singapore and the USA. In the championship then, Dan Morris leads Lewis Craig by 12 points, but only 17 points ahead of Deck, who's only 5 points behind Lewis Craig. Jess in 4th, still in the title, as is CJ. Jess only 21 points and CJ only 35 points behind Dan Morris. So top 5 all to play for. Any of that top 5 could win the championship this season. In the constructors title, Red Bull are 34 points ahead of Aston Martin, with Alpine 52 points off. There's only a gap of 18 points between Aston Martin and Alpine as well. So really getting close up there. And yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a brilliant final few races here into GP2, as we are waiting to ready up into qualifying for Singapore. So yeah, I'm excited for this, really excited, because like I said, it feels like ages ago that I was last here. Oh, messed up, I don't put myself in spectator. Ah, no. That's not very good, is it? Okay, what do we do in this situation? That's not very smart. I do apologise. So, what's the plan here? What do normal people do with this? Great start already. No, I'm thinking how I do this. I don't really want to just miss the start to retire the car. Right, okay, let's DNF the car now. I wish there was a better way of doing this, but I don't think there is. That's annoying. I do apologise. That is a rookie error from me. I went into this thinking, okay, all I have to do, hit triangle and I'll be there ready. But I'm stupid and I forgot to. So apologies about that. We are probably going to miss the 5 red lights for the start of the race, which is quite unfortunate. But fortunately, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Unless anyone else has a clue, then feel free to put in the chat. I need to get the chat up on my phone, because otherwise I won't know what you guys are saying. 2 people watching, hello to the 2. I'm also gonna get I went into this feeling prepared and I've realised I'm definitely not. Okay, is there any names I need to know around this track? Oh, Singapore still. Apart from that, no, there isn't, which is very helpful, because I'm bad with names. That's the one thing I struggle with. So, let's do this. This will hopefully be a good night of racing. I believe so, anyway. So, we are going to put map up so I can see the what am I doing? Right, okay. So details best fastest lap leader. Okay, right. I'm gonna put that there. So, apologies, I'm warming back up. It feels like an age since I did this. Let's watch on board with Ryan Berry, who has had a fair few performances recently. Let's see how he can perform here under the lights of Singapore. He goes into turn 1, put the apex on the left, run through the curb on the right, and then flip the car to the left before getting on the throttle early. And then go fling the car to the right here, clip the apex. Oh, I think he mounted that a little bit too much, but it's not going to hurt too much. I don't think it's only probably a banker lap for Ryan Berry as he enters the end of sector 1, 26. I don't know what it was, a 26 something. Into turn 8. Pretty nicely done into turn 9 again, fling the car. This circuit's very much, you've got to fling the car. If you don't fling it enough, you're going to understeer and end up in a barrier. Into the corner where George Russell, it's here actually. George Russell crashed as Ryan Berry nearly crashes as well into the hairpin in turn 13. And it's looking like an okay lap from Ryan Berry, definitely not the cleanest. 1:04.8 is in sector 2. Don't go wide for that corner, it will instantly invalidate you. I think it's stupid if you ask me, but it's built in circuit, but Codemasters think otherwise. Into turn 16, really have to mount the curbs here. Like, you feel like you don't, but you definitely need to. And then the final two corners, 18 and 19. It's a 1:30.2 for everyone to beat. I'm sure we are going to get faster than that as Dark Shadow has invalidated his time. We will go to the Red Bull of... Wait, no, that's not a Red Bull, that's an RB. Apologies. It is Daniel. Let's see what he sets. 28.9. Good lap from him. Luca goes third. 1:29.1. Chris Johnson barely ahead of Luca. Next up is Jess, who comes across the line and sets the fastest lap of 28.4 from the Red Bull driver. I'm sure she is happy with that. Next up we have Jack Craig, 29.7, puts in P5. Not a bad lap from Jack. For first lap, Bazza across the line is 1:29.2, puts him up to P5. And then we go to Wet Lemons. Oh, that was very wide. I don't know how he kept that valid, but he goes into second, 28.7. That was very, very wide. I thought that was not validated. So, let's go to another championship contender then. CJH. Let's see what he can do on his lap. In the Haas, obviously he's had a bit of bad luck recently. Italy crashing. I think there was a week or two he's had off as well. So, you know, he can definitely still win the title. He's shown he has the pace. Monaco, for example, he dominated the race. It just shows he can definitely go for the title. Here we go, turn 1, into 2, into turn 3. How cleanly has he done that? Fairly cleanly. Ooh, a little bit snappy on the throttle, but nothing too major. He hasn't lost too much time. Into turn 5 then, run it against the wall. He did that very neatly. A little bit loose on the rear end again, so feeling the pressure a little bit. A 26.3 is his first sector. Clip the curb on the left, nicely done. Don't run over that curb, it will skateboard you. Into turn 8, again very loose. I don't know if he clipped the rear on the wall there. Turn 9, run the car wide. That's quite tight from CJ. I think he could have run that a little bit wider. Then the Singapore Sling, which is turn 11, 12, and into what will be turn 13. Clip the apex on the inside before getting on the throttle. Nice run, a little bit of wheel spin there from CJ, but nothing too major. His sector 2 is a 13.222. Oh, he's really ran wide there. That was close to the barrier from the Haas driver. as he will go into turn 16 and into 17. Pretty nicely done from the Haas. Let's see what he can do. Pretty neat lap. It felt like it, and it is a 28.3 pole position for now, as Darky has invalidated his lap. Lewis Craig, another title contender, and I'm sure he's had quite a bit of bad luck. Obviously, he broke his thumb, I believe it was, only about 3 weeks ago, and so he missed a whole 2 races out of it, and I think he might have missed more, I'm not too sure. But he is back, came back a few weeks ago, and his pace has not been bad despite it. He has not lost that much pace, even despite the handicap, really. Things are going well for him. A 26.3 in the first sector. From the McLaren driver, that is very wide, and he's ran that curb. It's a very high curb. You do not want to be riding it. If you get stuck on it and you can't slow the car down, you're straight away into the barrier, which I can tell you for a fact you don't want to be in, especially in qualifying around the circuit, where if it rains, you're definitely not going to be in the best place. Lewis goes through onto the straight fairly nicely. As the steer was open, it's a 2.9. I think CJ was slightly faster at the end of sector 2, but then again, CJ also went extremely deep into said corner, so we'll see how Lewis takes it through the final 2 corners. It seems like an okay lap. Let's see what he does across the line. It's going to be a 27.5. Very neat lap, very nice lap. 8 tenths ahead of CJ in P2. So let's now cut to the final championship contender who hasn't set a lap. Deck, who has faced the wrong way and will not be finishing that lap, especially not on pole. As I believe he will, indeed, go into the pit lane and will go and set another lap later on. Jack Craig. Now, I think he has been one of the most underrated drivers on this grid. His pace has not been that bad at all. He has shown that he has pace, especially the likes of, he can prove himself. He can be quicker than Deck at times. He can be quicker than Jess at times. And he might not always be too amazingly consistent, but he's always up there fighting for top 5, and maybe he can fight for the top 5 again. I'm just gonna get the graphic of the gaps. That is crazy. 7 tenths ahead of Lewis. But Jack Craig, he will, he's always wanting to beat his brother, but will he be able to beat his brother tonight? We will find out. He actually said on the group chat that the one person he doesn't want winning the championship is Lewis. So, family rivalry very much running there. 9 tenths up on his personal best. I believe his personal best was set on medium, so he should really be up on his lap, and so he is at the moment. He comes through turn 16 and 17. Pretty nice run to fling the car into 18 and 19. He moves himself up to 5th with a 28.7. This is what I'm saying. He has pace. We've got Mercedes out there. Luca, what's he saying? He goes P2, 28.2. Very good lap from Luca. Chris Johnson moves himself up to 3rd, 28. 2. Annoyingly, the graphic on the right is not updating itself. Jess moves up to 2nd at 28.1. She goes ahead of Luca, Chris, and CJ. All of these times are getting better and better. What can Wet Lemons do in his Williams? Comes through the final 2 corners. It's a 27.6, puts him P2, only a 10th behind Lewis. But no one can beat Lewis's time as of yet. So Lewis looking quite comfortable right now, though he will obviously need to set another lap because that's not. Ooh. not looking great. And I tell you what else isn't looking great. It's Jack Craig's front wing. So he's come out in front of Luca, who I believe is on a lap, so it won't harm him too much. But that's not where you want to be, Jack. So we will cut to. Is anyone on a lap? CJ. Let's switch on board with him. Well, actually, it's Deck on a lap. He is, but he's further away. So yeah, let's watch on board with CJ. 18 milliseconds up on his sector 1 time currently. So getting very loose again on the rear. He really is struggling with that rear end. I think he has pace. He's just struggling to keep the car like stuck onto the ground at the moment. He's, you know, it is going to be helpful, the car swinging through the corners, able to get that rear loose into the corners, but it does also lose you time when it gets scruffy. Very deep again. How has he kept that valid? 5 tenths up on his personal best at the moment. Will not put him pole, but I think it would put him, I think, 3rd. Yeah, it should put him 3rd. Into turn 16 and 17 then. He comes out of it unscathed, so didn't spin it like Deck did. Into 18 and 19, what does he set? 28.4, he does go fastest. He gained a lot of time into that final sector. Deck, what can he do? Can he go quicker than that? He goes P4 27.9. So CJ then at the moment is provisional pole position. 4 minutes to go in the session. As Bazza, is he on a lap? No, he isn't on a lap. I think Darky? No, he's not on a lap either. Is anyone on a lap? Kaya was. Now isn't. There's Wineberry. Goes through there. I don't know if he's on a lap. If he is, that probably was quite a distraction, and he has slowed down, so I imagine he isn't on a lap. What about Daniel? Is he on a lap? It does look like he is going quicker. 5 tenths up on his lap. Apparently the game says purple, but I don't believe that's true. Let's watch how he does this then. Clips it pretty well. I thought that was going to spin out. That did not look settled, but he managed to keep that on the road. He's probably gained quite a bit of time out of that. He moves himself up to P6 at 28.2. Not bad from the RB driver. I thought Basil was going to start a lap then. Oh, that is borderline not legal. I think it is legal. Just Jack was saying about going onto that curb. Darky again invalidated. Now we know he is a qualifying master. He knows how to go fast in qualifying. But at the moment, he might be going fast, but he is not setting valid laps. Which is not what he wants, as everyone, apart from Luca and Darky, out on track at the moment. So, we'll watch on board with Luca, and we'll see what he can do. He's very much crawling around the circuit. Is he actually on a lap? I thought he ran out of fuel or something, but he is just driving really slow. I know he's trying to let the RB through, but that was very slowly for the Mercedes driver. 2 minutes left in the session, so it's starting to get into that pressured moment. You get 1 lap to prove yourself. Luca maybe 2 if he messes up this lap. Pressure on me as well for dehydration. Here we go then. Luca starts his lap. What can he set? The Mercedes driver Darky has retired from the session. He will not be starting on pole. He's going to start behind me, which is quite amusing. Into turn 5 then goes Luca. Pretty nice exit. Open the DRS wide, and he goes down the long straight. The Haas getting out of his way. 26.4, 5 milliseconds up on his lap so far. into the hard brake in turn 8, clip the apex, nicely done there from Luca, swing the car into turn 9, pretty nicely done from the Mercedes driver so far. Into turn 10, entering the Singapore sling, turn 11 and 12, he is really pushing that car to its limits into the little hairpin, turn 13, get on the throttle early, pretty nicely done there from the Mercedes driver. He is 4 tenths up on his personal best. Clip the apex on the right. Don't run that corner. He's done that very neatly on the edge of the white line. Goes down the straight. Moves to the right hand side before leaning the car to the left. Turn 16 and 17. Very nicely done. Oh, he gets very close to the barrier. And he goes into the final 2 corners. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 27.8. Puts him P4. That is his lap. That is where he is going to finish in this session. Next up it is Bazza, who stays 10th. The Aston Martins, both of them starting their laps. Jack Craig on a lap, 53 milliseconds down on his lap, but can he gain that time back? Daniel, meanwhile, he has set his lap. He will start P7. Well, he will finish with 28.2. Say Sports will not improve on his lap. He is 14th place. He had no lap, in fairness. Jack Craig then, what can he do? Goes through the final 2 corners. Can he move himself from 9th? He can't. He goes a 10th up, but nothing improvement-wise. We have Stereogram. Goes very wide. Doesn't improve on his lap time. Lewis Craig, what can he set in the Mercedes? 27.1, 3 tenths fastest out of everyone. Next up, Wet Lemons. Can he beat Lewis's time? He can go P2 at the moment, 27.3. Next up, a Ferrari, Chris Johnson, 28.1, puts him P6. Jessica Bull, she is title contender at the moment, I think P4 in the championship. Can she move herself from P7? She goes 4th place with 27.7. All eyes then go to CJ, our final title fighter, 2 tenths down on his lap time. He has got a hell of a lot of time to gain if he wants to go. Six does not improve, which means Deck, final championship contender, moves himself up to 4th, 27.7. Which means, unless Ryan Berry is up on his lap, moves himself up to 9th. Lucas in the pits. Lewis Craig is your pole man at 27.1. Just under 2 tenths quicker than Wet Lemons, who will be starting 2nd place. So, good qualifying session there. Everyone using the track evolution, really. But CJ struggling to get the final lap when it matters. Still, P3, not too bad from the Haas driver. But is Lewis Craig on pole position from Wet Lemons, from CJ, from Deck, from Jess, from Luca, from Chris Johnson, Daniel P. Wilnut 8th, Ryan Berry 9th, Bazza 10th, Jack Craig 11th, Dark Shadow 12th, Stereogram 13th, Say Sports 15th, and Darky in 15th. Ignore me. I will retire as soon as I can. Hopefully we won't miss too much. An even bigger hope that I don't cause chaos. Yeah, I'm annoyed with myself that I've let that happen. I've really annoyed myself with it. But, yeah. What's going on? Anything important? CJ says he can't find the time on his last lap. Lucas says everyone is sway. Interesting. So, can I retire from here? I can't. That's not great. I could be really mean and set the timer off early. Let's look at the strategy while we're here then. So it recommends a soft to medium, or you could do a medium hard, or you could do a medium soft. It's only 1 millisecond slower. We can have a little sip of my drink, and then we'll hopefully get going, and hopefully I won't lose too much time with lap 1. time is on. We'll ready up my car, and hopefully we can retire my car as soon as possible and get to spectating the race. I'm hoping we'll cut straight to turn 1, but I don't have my hopes up, to be honest. We're probably going to have to watch my car pull to the side. Anyway, this is going to be a unique way of starting the race. We go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Can we go to the start of the race straight away, please? We go into turn 1. McLaren is leading. Lewis Craig leads us into turn 1. CJ stays in P2. Wet Lemons drops down to P3. Deck had a little mistake there as we go into turn 4. And it is Deck who stays in P4 then. Jess in P5. Chris Johnson fighting Jess for that P5, but nothing can be made. So far though, Lewis Craig is your race leader here in Singapore. Ryan Berry making a move on Darky, moved himself all the way up to 10th place. Great start from the Ferrari driver, who is going to try and get himself down the inside of Ryan Berry. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the two of them as they're going side by side here into turn 10. Darky sends it down the inside. Great move from the Ferrari driver. Moves himself up to P9 on the grid. Great start from the Ferrari driver. So, yeah, got to the lead then. And Lewis Craig, very comfortably in the lead, 4/10 behind, ahead of CJ. To be honest, 4/10 at the start of the race, quite decent gap. Though there is a little train going on, but it is lap 1, so that's not unexpected. But as the cars fling their way, that is an awesome shot. Play for Codemasters and EA for making such a cool shot of just the cars flying into that corner. But lap 2, and DRS is now enabled. This is where CJ is going to have the advantage on the straights. But here we go, watching on board for CJ, who's on the mediums. They all are. CJ with the DRS and the ERS burning. He's going to try and go around the outside of Lewis, and he takes the position. Easy place gained there from CJ so far. Stereogram has gone into the barrier and is out of the race. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to cut to see what happened. But if we look at the map, he has gone into the barrier. So, CJ, now your race leader from Lewis Craig. He will now try and pull away from Lewis Craig. However, with this circuit being a street circuit, it means it is so much harder. You have to push the car to absolute limits. There's no way you can run wide and gain time, or like if there's a mistake. One mistake, you could be in the barrier. So, CJ doesn't want to hit the barrier, but also push as hard as he can. Lewis Craig will want to stick with CJ and try and take the lead back. So at the moment, three-way fight between CJ, Lewis Craig and Wet Lemons. Deck just sticking into the DRS, 9/10 behind the guys in front. CJ fastest lap, Jess fastest lap. As she chills in 5, sticking behind 5th, as she's trying to get past Deck for 4th place. So, CJ, he is in the title fight. Can he keep the title fight hopes alive? Here we go. On to the straight again. Will Lewis make an attack? I don't think he is. He's going to sit behind this lap. They all do. They all sit behind each other. But I tell you who isn't sticking behind. I thought Luca was going to make a move on Chris Johnson. Sits behind for now. At the moment, no moves. On to the first straight. So, lap 3, and these guys are all together. Yeah, nice helicopter camera watching with Wet Lemons as we go into turn 13. And will we see a move made by Lewis on this straight? I don't think we will. In fact, Wet Lemons has a cheeky little run, but he can't make the move on the straights. CJ running very wide. Now, will we see any moves here? It's quite a unique place to make a move. Don't get it very often. in my opinion, I think DRS should be there. I think they did in real life move it there, so next year hopefully we'll have a DRS straight in that corner. But CJ saving his ERS up, which has given Lewis a run as he will try and send it down turn one. CJ absolutely sends it down the inside of Lewis and keeps the place. That was a really, really hard braking that CJ had to do to keep that somewhat on track. That was Max Verstappen-esque defending there from CJ. As here goes Lewis around the outside of CJ. CJ's not giving this up. And, well, he's going to have to give it up because Lewis has taken the lead. Meanwhile, Darky has made the move on Daniel. Darky with a penalty. Same with Dark Shadow, who has dropped quite far back. But yeah, that was really hard defending from CJ there. We haven't seen CJ's defending like that since last season at the end of it, and wow, he is coming back with it. And you know what? We don't complain as long as he doesn't take Lewis out. But yeah, that send into turn one was crazy. I did not expect that. I thought, okay, Lewis is going to try it. CJ will give it up. He'll get him back in the straight. I didn't expect CJ to defend that hard in the turn one, especially when it was only lap 4 out of 16. You've still got 12 laps, and already he is defending for his life as we are about to start lap 5 in this race. CJ catching on Lewis here. Is he going to send it down the inside? He is going to send it down the inside. Oh, goes off the circuit though. He's going to have to give that place back. And he does. Yeah, he does give it back. But Wet Lemons, he's trying to get involved. He's going to try and go around the outside of CJ. Here we go into turn 5. They make a little bit of contact, but I think they both get away without any damage. But they're holding themselves up, which is letting Lewis escape here. As will Wet Lemons send it down the inside of CJ? He has to sit behind for now. But Wet Lemons then, he is getting himself involved. He's got nothing to lose really. I don't think he's in the title fight, but you know, he wants to get involved anyway. Meanwhile, Ryan Berry getting past Daniel Peanut. Oh, they go side by side. Daniel makes the move back on Ryan Berry. I don't know if there was any contact. Bazza also trying to get past Ryan Berry here as they go into turn 10. Ryan Berry unfortunately is disconnected. I wonder if that's what's caused all this chaos behind. I'm not too sure. But here we go then. Will Wet Lemons try and make a move on CJ? Wet Lemons quite confident that he can get past CJ. He looks pacey, this Williams. I'll tell you who does look pacey, who we have kind of like not focused enough on, is Beck. He's managing to stick with these guys. Don't take him out of contention for at least a podium, because anything can happen with these guys, especially with how hard some of the defending is. Meanwhile, CJ has dropped back quite a bit from Lewis here. That fighting definitely did not help him. He's now 6/10 behind Lewis. Daniel has dropped down to 11th. He is into the pits. Is he on? He isn't, so. Okay, so he's on a different strategy to everyone else who is on mediums. Oh, CJ, that's a massive snap. And will this give Wet Lemons a run? It won't. He is too far behind to make the move, which means we'll sit another lap without any moves. Onto this straight anyway. Jack Craig around the outside of Bazza for P9. Will Bazza try to defend? No, he won't. He will sit and take P10 for now. However, these two will be fighting late into the night as we watch on board with the leaders once again. Quickly check Darky and Chris Johnson here, who are slightly fighting with each other. Darky will want to get past this teammate quite badly. Cut to the leaders again. Will CJ try to make a move on Lewis Craig? No, he won't. Not through that straight anyway. That's Wet Lemons. He is there. He wants this place as well. So yeah, this could get very tasty if Wet Lemons wants to try and get involved in this lead of the race. Oh, Lewis getting very slidey. Nearly goes into the pit lane. So, CJ. Will he have a run on Lewis this time round? Is he going to try and make the move into turn 1? No, he won't. He will not do his signature move into turn 1 then. Maybe realising that sometimes it won't work and maybe he will end up making some illegal overtakes. Might have got a warning as well, which definitely would not help. But he's going to have a run. This should be a fairly easy move here from CJ. Here we go, onto the straight, go around the outside. Oh, it goes on the inside actually, and takes the lead of the race. So CJ, he's been trying to prove to himself that proven to himself, he's trying to prove to everyone he has the pace to pull away from Lewis. And just get past him, and he has now got past him, but will Lewis be able to stick with CJ? We know how good CJ is around a street circuit. Obviously it's not wet, but Monaco still proved that he does have pace around him, and yeah, we'll see how CJ does. So it's sports 3-second time penalty. Lewis is losing quite a bit of time here from CJ, so CJ maybe is looking like the quickest man on circuit right now. He definitely seems to be pulling away from Lewis, but I reckon that DRS is just going to help Lewis stay with him for now. I don't know when... Oh, Lewis, 3-second time penalty. That could definitely hamper his result. CJ into the pit lane then. So he is the first of the front runners to pit. We will cut to the leaders then, who is now Wet Lemon, is technically the race leader with a penalty for Lewis. CJ will go on to, I imagine, softs. It goes on to hards, interesting. So, oh, Wet Lemon's big slide. This should be an easy move for Decadem. He's not actually making a move, he's staying back. Which, I mean, I'm surprised about. I'd have burned all my ERS to get past him, but he's sitting back for now. CJ will come out in 8th without massive traffic. He's got Ryan Berry ahead of him, but as soon as he gets past him, it will be easy days for him. Hard tyres, I'm quite surprised by that, as Jack Craig and Bazza fighting out for P6. We've got Dark Shadow, I think that is, who's got off circuit, unfortunately for him. So, we'll see a move from Wet Lemons. We won't. I'll tell you what, these guys are really struggling with their tyres, and this is going to help CJ. Kaya retires in the pit lane, no comment from me. And I imagine these guys are going to start pitting soon. There we go. Both Lewis and Wet Lemons into the pit lane. Deck stays out then. Apologies. I'm going to mute my live, but I didn't. So, Lewis, he goes on to a set of softs. What does Wet Lemons do? Set of hard tyres. Interesting. So, where does CJ come out in all of this? He's getting held up by Ryan Berry quite a bit here. This could be quite annoying for CJ here. He does not want to be stuck behind Ryan Berry. I thought he should get past him quite easily. But I tell you what, he hasn't. This will now make the fight for the lead that bit more interesting. CJ off the circuit again, making a move, and he's not giving this one back. Lewis and Ryan Berry now having a little bit of contact. Ryan Berry is getting in the way of all of these front guys, and luckily for Lewis, there was no contact enough to take him out completely, but that was definitely some significant contact. He needs to be careful, Ryan Berry. I know he's trying to help Beck out, but you don't want to be doing too hard over the limit, otherwise you're going to mess up your own race and mess up others, which, you know, we want a fair fight here. We don't want to have people being taken out to help their teammate, you know, that's not what you like to see. But Lemons want to get past Ryan Berry as soon as possible, but he is not able to. Jess also getting held up in all this. So Ryan Berry doing a Perez kind of job, but I don't think Perez was this hard on the defending. He has gone very wide, and Wet Lemons has very much ran into him as Lucas gone past Jess. These guys are getting all clustered up behind Ryan Berry as Wet Lemons gets past. Deck goes into pit lane. Let's see where he comes out then. His teammate has tried, really tried to help Deck here, but I don't think it's enough. As if anything, I think he's actually lost time. He comes out behind Luca and is now facing the wrong direction. He just ran into the back of him, really, yeah. Anyway, we're on lap 10, and Lewis Craig has his DRS open. CJ does not need to defend hard against Lewis at this point. He's going to try anyway. He's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he's going to sit behind. If I'm CJ, I'm not defending that hard. 3 seconds in a space of 6 laps is quite difficult to get unless those hards are really that bad. Just stay in the DRS and you'll be fine. There's no need to defend so hard that you're going to get yourself a penalty or anything. I'll tell you what, he does look very loose on those rears. Ooh, that's deep as well. He's really struggling to keep grip into those tyres as Deck, I think, is facing the wrong way again. It was looking so good for him, but then Ryan Berry gone and I can't blame him for his mistakes, but yeah, you should have been careful. Careful coming out of the pits. I know you wanted P3 or 4, whatever it was, but yeah, too far from Deck, and it has cost him as Lewis' fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 30.1. We have 5 laps to go in this race. It is Lewis from CJ, from Wet Lemons, from Luca, from Jess, from Ryan Berry, who is still being a bottleneck in this race, going side by side with Chris Johnson. He is corner cutting the circuit just to hold up these guys, just to be a nuisance, really. He's now in P7, and he's really holding up these guys. It's not funny, but like, it's quite amusing that he's just winding these guys up, really, as he's getting sent to the shops there nearly. It's Darky getting past Daniel for P8, as Ryan Berry still holding up these guys. Really, must be. I would be so angry if I'm Darky and Daniel. He's just there. He is not pitted. He's just getting in the way. He's squeezing people against barriers and everything. This is surely like on the line of legal and not legal. Here goes Darky. Can he get past Ryan Berry? He's going to defend to the inside. Little bit of contact made. Darky deep into the corner. And I'll tell you what, he's actually nearly made that move. He hasn't, because here they go. They go 3 wide. And I think Darky might have the move. He moves to the left to defend the line. Daniel and Ryan Berry side by side. Finally, Darky gets past. We're going to cut to the leaders real quick, because this is the true fight. CJ versus Lewis. Lewis might have a penalty, but these guys will still fight it out for the lead. CJ wants it on circuit. I'm sure he does. Can he make the move? I don't think he can, unless he sends it here. I don't think he will. No, he doesn't. Let's cut back to Ryan Berry, who has lost the places. He's lost the place to his teammate as well. Oh, who was that? That's Ryan Berry, who has now gone into the barrier. So all of that just to end up in the barrier. I respect the dedication, I guess, but Jesus. So we cut to the leaders now. As Jack Craig and Bazza are fighting for P10. That was interesting fighting going on. It's almost like made gaps through the whole field now, which is quite unfortunate. But yeah, Lewis. I think he could definitely still keep P2 if he just pushes enough to finish ahead of CJ. Just gonna check. He is the only one on softs out of the top 8. So, I mean, the tyres might die off on him. But he's currently got a 2-second gap to Wet Lemons. So, yeah, this will be interesting. Lewis, we know, has a lot of pace. Here, everyone who's got penalties are only 3 seconds. But will we see a move from CJ this lap? CJ could, in theory, make a smart move here. Okay, Lewis has the penalty, so he doesn't have to make a move. But CJ could cook. If he gets ahead of him, hold him up. Like, you've got to play it smartly. Oh, Wet Lemons is into the barrier. And that is, yeah, it's not where you want to be facing. He moves himself down to 5th and has no front wing. So now Lewis should finish 2nd place with the penalty he has. But if I'm CJ, I'm playing the smart. They're both in the title fight. Lewis is more of a threat than the likes of CJ. So if I'm CJ, I'm getting ahead, holding everyone up to get, for example, Luca and Jess into that 3-second window, so that Lewis loses more positions and more points as he's weaving on the straight there. Really wanting to keep this. Lewis wants this win, realistically, but he's sliding around everywhere. Those softs might be starting to die off. He's on lap 14. He opens his DRS. Does CJ? Can he make the move? Lewis isn't even gonna defend. CJ makes the move into the lead of the race. Now, what does he do? Does he do what I said and hold Lewis up? Or does he just, pull away? There's nothing to lose. Go and win the race on circuit. Tell you what, at the moment, Lewis is going to finish 3rd because he is losing time in general. I think those softs are definitely starting to die. And Luca isn't, I don't think, a title contender. So, it is still big points for Lewis if he does end up behind Luca. Yeah, he's 2 seconds on his personal best at the moment. And we do know Luca's got good pace. He, at the moment, has the fastest lap of the race. So, yeah, at the moment, I think this is an easy CJ win, presuming he doesn't get any penalties. He's good around street circuits. He's on the better tyre. Lewis with the 3-second time penalty. The guys behind aren't really close. I'll tell you who is close. It's Darky and Wet Lemons. Bazo with a 3-second time penalty. Easy move there from Darky in the end. Good move. And yeah, meanwhile, Lewis opens his DRS. Is he going to get the move done on CJ? CJ needs to be careful he doesn't get a penalty himself. You don't want to be getting a penalty this late into the race with Lewis having the penalty, because if that's the case, Luca could be on for the win. So, yeah, CJ just needs to keep it on the white lines. Oh, that was very loose from Lewis. He needs to be careful that Jess doesn't actually catch in the moment. Could be Lewis down to 4th. So, yeah, Lewis needs to keep the pace under control. Luca is catching very quickly. So I'll tell you what, Lewis is in deep trouble, and I do wonder if CJ is doing what I said, holding up Lewis. It does seem like he is keeping, like he's not pulling away, like he should be, as Deck and Jack Craig maybe an incident? I'm not too sure what's going on there. I think Jack's just had a spin. Yeah, Lucas suddenly popped out of nowhere with this pace, and it's just come out of nowhere here, really. So I do wonder if maybe we don't see it, but Lewis is slightly holding up Lewis here. I can't tell you what the gap is between Lewis and Jess. I think just about finish ahead of Lewis. I don't know. Anyway, Lewis with the DRS open. So he will gain time on Jess through here, but it's the corners where he is struggling on those soft tyres. I think Jess might just miss out, unless it is a scruffy lap from Lewis here. So he just needs to keep it with CJ. Oh, don't whack that barrier, Lewis. That's the last thing you want to be doing. But yeah, I think Lewis is going to have to settle with 3rd. If Jess gets 3rd, it'll be huge for the championship, I tell you that. Because with... Oh, Lewis! He's struggling so much, he's gone into the barrier. Oh no. What has happened there? Just wheel spin, his tyres must be dead. He's going to drop down to 4th now, he's everywhere. Anyway, CJ, he's already weaving. He thinks he has the win, and I think he might as well. As he comes through the final 2 corners, what CJ came with penalty then. CJ, as he comes through the final 2 corners, he is driving a very good race, very hard defending, and it has paid off. CJ is your race winner here in Singapore. Luca gets the 2nd place, very unexpected 2nd place, great pace at the end to get 2nd. Jess, 3rd place, this is huge for the title. Lewis, 4th place, very, very messy few laps, which has cost him a podium today. Chris Johnson gets 5th, Darky, his teammate, in 6th. Wet Lemons in the end, 7th with the spin. Daniel 8th, Deck 9th, Bazza 10th, Jack Craig 11th. And Say Sports will be the final finisher in this race in 12th. But CJ is your race winner here in Singapore. He is putting out a statement. He is not out of this title fight. He doesn't want to give it up. And I don't know. Like I said, I think he can win this championship. Jack said Gerd should have been 8th. Half spin made at 11th. Unlucky. Because you did seem to have some decent pace, but unfortunately Daniel takes your spot in 8th place. So CJ very happy, as he should be. And yeah, so this title then changes that little bit more. As Say Sports is doing donuts as if it's the final night of the season. It's not. Why not? CJ is your race winner. But yeah, so yeah, CJ is your race winner in the Haas. He closes the gap down in the title fight. Once we get the podium and the results, we will look at the championship. I will do some very quick maths and tell you, but let me tell you, it is now looking very tasty indeed. As CJ then comes out on the podium, he listens to the Great Britain national anthem as he lifts Singapore trophy. His colleagues, the engineers, all look up in delight. He sprays his mechanic, his race engineer, in champagne. His hair seems to be falling off his head from the stress. You can see just like hair's lifting off his head, which is a new one for this game. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But CJ, race winner from Luca, from Jessica Ball, from Lewis Craig, Chris Johnson 5th, Darky in 6th, Wet Lemon 7th, Daniel 8th, Deck 9th. That is really costly in the championship. Bazza 10th, Jack Craig 11th, Say Sports 12th, and Ryan Berry, Dark Shadow, Stereogram, and technically myself, DNF. So, let me very quickly do some maths. With Jess getting 3rd, she manages to still be ahead of Jess. Deck drops all the way down to 5th from this one race alone, I believe, because Deck did not get a great result. Lewis, I believe, takes the championship lead. Because Dan Morris obviously not racing. Very quickly put this into spectate. Because I do not want to be racing again. So I believe, yeah, Lewis takes the lead of the championship because he got more than 12 points. Deck didn't get a lot of points. I think, well, I'll tell you what, he might be very close with CJ for 4th place. Jess moves up to 2nd. Second? No. She'll be 3rd. It goes Lewis Craig, Dan Morris, Jess, Deck, CJ is my guess, if my maths is any good. That is CJ's 3rd win of the season, so congratulations to him. And yeah, Ryan Berry with the defending. Oh, we actually have standings already. Thank you, Jack. So Dan Morrison, Lewis Craig actually drawn on points for the title. Very quickly, if I've got time to do this really quickly, I will get this up with a graphic. Because I can. Quick. Oh, everyone's ready and up. If I snippy tool it and then save. So, I'm not going to show it now in general. That is it if you want to pause the thing. But we will look at it after when qualifying's done. As CJ has messaged me, FYI, I was deliberately going slow again because Lewis had a pair. Nothing dangerous, just think science. 23 Singapore. I said that was a good idea, and he did what I said. Fair play. I tip my hat off for you, sir. Texas track map. Let's get this up. That's giving me NASCAR. Okay. So, photos. Get a sore throat, which isn't great. I apologise, my comment's not been very good tonight. My throat is so dry. I really don't know why, but I do apologise. Probably not the nicest sounding thing in the world, but you know. So, wait for the drivers to pick their setups, and we'll go on board with CJ for his lap around Austin, Texas. Who is Austin? I don't know, but I know what is Texas. It's a part of the American map. So, CJ, can we very quickly cheat it? We can! Here we go then. Start the lap. Burn your ERS onto the long start-finish straight. Into turn 1. Move your car to the right before clipping the apex on the left. Turn 1 pretty neatly done from CJ. You go down the hill into turn 2 before the S section of turn 3. Clip the apex, the curbs as much as you can. Don't cut the corners though, very easily done. Turn 6 and 7. Pretty nicely done so far from CJ. Up the hill into turn 8 and 9. This is very hard to get the throttle down. CJ does it quite nicely though as he goes into turn 11. You can corner cut quite a bit of this corner, but you have to be careful. CJ takes it quite cautiously, but nevertheless he gets it done. As you go down the long straight, where you want to keep the car right, quite a bit right. Into turn 12, again you can corner cut this very much, but CJ takes the safer route. Into turn 13, before this very hard braking zone. I actually find it's quite difficult, 14 and 15. Get on the throttle as much as you can, all quite loose on the rear end. And then you go onto this long right. Keep the power down throughout all of it before lifting very slightly, fling the car to the left. Keep it on track though, very easy to invalidate. And into the final corner, turn 20. And CJ is going to finish second. Wet Lemons is on pole position. There's a lot of invalidations. But Wet Lemons is your pole position here in Texas. So, yeah, it was a good lap from CJ. I'm quite surprised that he didn't get pole. There's a few times where, you thought maybe you could gain a little bit of time, but Wet Lemons just managing to beat it. So, Wet Lemons is on pole position by 11 milliseconds from CJ. Ryan Berry up in third, only 85 milliseconds off pole. Good lap from Ryan Berry. Jess in 4th, Luca 5th, Deck down in 6th, Daniel 7th, and Lewis Craig down in 8th position. What happened to him? Chris Johnson, Darky, Stereogram, Dark Shadow, Bazar, Chuck Craig, Set Sports, all invalidated. But this is a very mixed up grid. These guys are all very close. 4 tenths separate the top 8 who finished their laps. Interesting. Let's very quickly look at the championship order then. It is Dan Morris. Oop, actually, let's just cut it off to this bit. Dan Morris then is at the moment the championship leader. He is only ahead by race wins, I believe. Lewis Craig then drawn on points with Dan Morris. Jess only 6 points off the top two who are drawn on points in third. CJ only 10 points off the title lead in fourth. Deck only 11 points off Dan Morris and Lewis Craig. That's crazy gap. That is crazy. Like, that is photographable. That at top 5. Oh, that is not looking good. That top 5, 11 points separate him so late into the season as well. That is mental. Anyway, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Who's coming out on top in this championship by this race? Lights out and away we go. Wet Lemons leads us into turn 1. Who is going to lead into turn 1 though? It looks like Wet Lemons takes the inside line. Very, very tight though. And CJ takes the lead. Goes around the outside. Wet Lemons though, he's not giving us giving us up very quickly as going into the S sections. And CJ is your race leader. Not Lewis Craig. Wet Lemons not giving us up. He is trying to get past CJ. Wet Lemons, by the way, how he's not in this title fight is beyond me. Because look at this, he's all over the back of CJ. He's going to try and get past him into the braking zone of turn 11. Can he send it down the inside? He thought about it and he is trying to almost send it, but he can't make the move stick. He stays in P2. He's going to have slipstream all the way down the straight, and I imagine burning some ERS. Lewis Craig, meanwhile, is looking backwards on the circuit as CJ and Wet Lemon still fighting this out for the lead of the race, going side by side. Who is going to come out into the lead of this race by lap 1? They're still going for it. Luca getting all tight. I don't know if there was contact, but Wet Lemon's losing the rear end. Luca getting really up Wet Lemons' rear end, but CJ is your race leader as Luca very close to Wet Lemons here. But what happened to Lewis Craig? That is the question. I couldn't catch it because we were so focused on the lead of the race, but Lewis, qualifying wasn't great, and well, nor was his lap 1. Going bad to worse for the joint championship leader as Luca gets past Wet Lemons. Wet Lemons is going to send it back up the inside but can't make the move stick. Jess, meanwhile, fighting Deck for P5. These two are fighting for the title, remember. They go side by side into the S section. Deck gets himself up to P5. Now I imagine Ryan Berry is going to move very quickly out of his teammates' way to get him up to P4. Because he knows he's in the title fight. And well, Aston Martin, I believe, are leading the constructors. So, more of a reason for Deck to get past his teammate. We go on to the straight though, as Jess and Darky are going side by side. DRS is enabled, as Ryan Berry has the DRS on Wet Lemons. Can he make the move on the Williams driver? He is going to sit back for now, I believe, as Darky sends it down the inside of Jess as they're going side by side. Darky has made the move on... Oh, Jess! There's contact! Jess facing the wrong way. She is down to 8th now. That is unlucky for Jess. Meanwhile, Wet Lemons has been overtaken by Ryan Berry, who... I don't know where this pace has come from. He's up to 3rd. Is the Aston Martin driver. So fair play to him. But at the moment, fight is CJ versus Luca. Luca today has been phenomenal. As he opens his DRS, he sets the fastest lap of the race. Will he send it down the inside of CJ as we go into turn 1? He doesn't for now. Further back, Deck trying to get past the Wet Lemons, who I don't know if he's got damage. I don't think he does. He just hasn't had a great start to the race. Meanwhile, I think Lewis might have appeared, which is why he's 23 seconds behind everyone. Dark Shadow 3-second time penalty. I think Chris Johnson might have been involved in the contact with Lewis. I'm not too sure. I think I remember seeing his name drop down the order slightly, so that could be one of the reasons to why he's so far down the order as well. I guess we'll find out by the end of the race. Anyways, as we go on to the second straight of the lap, will Luca try and make a move on CJ? It looks very simple and easy move. Luca send it down the inside. CJ not giving it up though. He's trying to go around the outside. I imagine he's going to send it back down the inside. Yes, he does. As Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty. Luca trying to give... Oh, there's contact between the two of them. CJ sends it back down the inside. Luca is not giving this up. And he slams into the back of CJ. I don't think he's got front wing damage. I don't see any front wing, just confetti. Wow. Okay, that was a good fight between them. Ryan Berry, meanwhile, he's caught up to Luca. Could he be on for the race win? These Aston Martin drivers have come out of nowhere at the middle part of the season. Here we go then. Luca back on CJ again as we start lap 4 in this race. Will he send it down the inside this lap? You sure bet he will. He sends it down the inside. CJ going to try and go for the switchback. Just can't get on the throttle, but he's burning the ERS to try and go maybe around the outside in the S section. Luca gives him a little squeeze, maybe a little bit of contact, but CJ around the outside of Luca. What a move from CJ in the S section. That was a brilliant move from the Haas driver. Wow. Wow. What a brilliant move. And yeah, that was brilliant. These guys, they know how to fight cleanly, I tell you that for a fact. As we go on to the long straight, Ryan Berry could be on for the race lead here. He had a better exit than Luca for a second there. But here goes Luca. DRS open. Should be a simple move here from Luca on the straight. It is indeed. Will Ryan Berry try to get involved here? No, he won't. He needs to be careful. I know he wants to help his teammate, but he also doesn't want to go too far. Because there are limits. We don't want those limits to be broken. Meanwhile, Jack Craig and Bazza, these two are fighting in Singapore. They're fighting here. Well, was fighting. Bazza facing the wrong direction. Someone else who's facing the wrong direction, I believe, is Wet Lemons, who's dropped down to 8th. Not too sure what happened to him, as Chris Johnson and Sayer Sports fighting it out for P11. Chris got the exit. No, he doesn't. Anyway, back to the fight, to the lead. We go to the start-finish straight to start lap 5 of this 20-lap race. Let's bet Lemons into the pits. Will CJ try to make a move on Luca this lap? No, he won't. He's going to sit behind. Ryan Berry and Deck, both here. They are in the contention as Darky into P5. He's a great recovery drive again. Daniel says no. He's going to defend him, and Darky's going to have to sit another lap behind him. By the way, Lewis, just keep an eye on him. I think he might come out ahead of Dark Shadow in the pit stops. As Darky and Daniel fighting it out for P5 again, Darky gets moved back. But here we go for the fight, for the lead, for the championship really. Luca, I don't think he's really in the fight for the championship. He's still going to be a bottleneck in it and cause a bit of chaos. Stereogram retires into the pit lane. Not great, and not for Stereogram. CJ stays behind. What will these Aston Martin drivers do, by the way? Is Daniel going to send it down the inside of Darky, who moves over. And, wow, that was close to having a crash there between the two of them. Jess, I imagine, might be slightly worried these guys might crash in front of her and ruin her race. She needs to get past these guys ASAP. But I'm imagining she thinks that she doesn't have the pace. But she is in a title fight. She needs to get these moves done to still be in the running. As we start lap 6. When are these guys going to start pitting? That's another question on my lips. As will CJ try to make the move on Luca into turn 1? He's not. Ryan Berry having a little sneaky look. There's Bazza 3-second time penalty. So that's, you know, he's had that spin already. And going bad to worse for Bazza. As, yeah, so these four all fighting out for the win. Two names I didn't really expect. Luca's always up there, but I don't expect him to be fighting for the lead tonight. Ryan Berry, though, Now, I would give him driver of the day if he wasn't so aggressive in Singapore, but if he can get a podium out of this race, he might win my vote. Here we go then, on the straight again. CJ opens his DRS, he's much closer to Luca. Here we go, his DRS open. Burns a bit of the ERS. And it's moved done for CJ. Will Luca try to defend it? No, he won't. Not this time around. So, Darky 3-second time penalty. That's not great news for him. Meanwhile, Jess up the slip. She got past Daniel. Good move from her. Crucial move, in fact. As will Luca be able to keep with CJ, or will CJ turn the heat up and defend successfully from Luca to win this race? Or will he pit even? Let's find out. No pit stops yet as Zaya Sports and Chris going at it again as they're going to go side by side for the S section. Zaya Sports trying to hang it around the outside, but not a move done there. Let's see if they come inside. That would be a silly move. Darky is out of this race. He is parked in the middle of the circuit. What on earth has he done to do that? This guy, I don't know how I don't know how he does these things. Oh wow, okay. Well, Darky's out of this race. Sorry to see that. Because he actually did quite well tonight. He didn't give up. I wonder if he was going into the pits, has clipped the inside wall in the pit lane, and it's teleported his car on the circuit. But we have a safety car, which is very nice for Lewis, because he can now pit and be back in this race. So, good news for Lewis, also good news for Dark Shadow. I'm surprised Lewis has pitted, to be honest, but because he had his pit stop done, he probably gained quite a bit of time. He would have maybe gone out in the lead, but yeah. So this neutralizes the race for a few laps, which means I can take a breather after that fight. Those first 5 laps. Wow, that was proper good racing from these guys. CJ's move in the S section. What a move. I need to see the POV of that, CJ. I believe you're listening. When this race is done, please send it into the chat. Because that was a great move. From at least the spectator cam anyway. So yeah, I imagine these guys will all pit. I don't know what onto. I'll tell you what though, Lewis has gone into mediums. I imagine these guys might go on to hards. CJ into pits, Luca into pits, Ryan Berry into pits. Deck is going to be double stacked, which could help Jess get past him into the pits. So, I don't believe anyone should be jumped apart from Deck. We're going to watch on board at Deck here. Ooh, that was a bit illegal there from the Mercedes pit crew. Here he goes. The pit crew don't want to do anything for those first few seconds. And he has dropped down to 6th place. As he's actually managed to come out ahead of Daniel, so not all is lost, but apart from that, top 5 pretty much the same. Say Sports is staying out, not going to gain too much time as the Williams driver. He'll come out ahead of Chris Johnson, who they've been fighting the whole race. Wet Lemons into the pit lane. So let's look at tyres. It is hards for the top 8, then Bazza on the mediums, Chris Johnson on hards, Wet Lemons, Lewis Craig on mediums, and Kaya, who has decided he wants to go onto the soft tyre. Has Kaya. He has decided Kaya has gone onto the soft tyre. So, yeah, we now have a breather and we relax. The race has neutralised itself. Do we want to do some mathematics on the championship? I think we do. So I'm not going to get the championship up because I need to see. But so far, CJ will be, I want to say, leading the championship as it stands. I think he is. But then I can't do maths, so I couldn't tell you. But let me get the message from Dom, because I asked him a while back what the points system is. Because I still can't remember it to this day, and I've been racing in the league for years. Which is quite amusing. Where is it? Assuming we're not going on. Where is it? I can't find it. I had a conversation. I was like, "What is the point system like?" And I can't seem to find. Ah, there we go. Top 14 says 25. So top 5 is what it normally is. So I can't do maths properly, but 25 points. Okay. We're going to do some live mathematics with Kieran, who can't do maths. Only just passed. So CJ will get 25, which would put him ahead of Dan Morris and Lewis Craig right now. Lewis will get a few points, but I don't think it'd be enough for him to keep the lead. Luca is not in the title fight at all. Ryan Berry's not in the title fight at all. Jess will also jump Lewis Craig and Dan Morris to get second. But obviously won't, yeah, because she won't take the lead because CJ's in fourth. Then Deck will jump 10 points. We'll put him fourth or fifth, one of the two. He only gains 10 points, but Dan Morris is on 97, Deck's on 86, so he wouldn't get past Dan Morris and Lewis Craig, so he would stay probably fifth. So I'm pretty sure, as it stands, it's CJ, Jess, Lewis Craig, Dan Morris, Deck. I think. If I've done my maths right. Lewis at the moment would only gain... should we gain... 49. We'd get 3 points, so 200. Yeah, I think so. Right, anyway. I need to get a spreadsheet out or something to figure these things out quicker. Or just do another GCSE exam of maths. I'm clearly not good at it. CJ then takes us off for the safety car restart. What can Hassman do? Top 8 on hards. The rest of them, apart from Chris, on mediums and softs. CJ then weaving the car around. When does he go? He goes now. CJ then takes us off the line and will... Oh, Jack Craig, 3-second time penalty. We haven't even got fully going. And he's already getting himself penalties. He has had a great start, CJ. 9/10 ahead of Luca. He has called it early and it has worked. Ryan Deck getting past Jess into turn 1. He is already making crucial moves in this championship. So, Deck moves himself up to 4th. That puts him 3rd in the championship, I think. Keep an eye on the likes of Lewis Craig, who will be much quicker than the guys ahead of him. CJ though, 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds ahead of Luca. He is absolutely flying. That could be a crucial restart, which could give CJ the lead of the championship. I'm not going to say anything too early because my maths might be completely wrong. But at the moment, Luke are actually under a little bit of pressure from Ryan Berry, 6/10. And Daniel Wilner keeping pressure going as Tay Sports and Baz are going side by side. Lewis Craig and Chris Johnson. I think these two had contact on lap 1. And Lewis moved himself up to P11. Crucial moves these. He needs to get past these guys ASAP if he wants to keep his championship lead going into next week. Little bit of contact there from Lewis at Wet Lemons. I think he gets away with it. We're going to watch him board. I don't get a good angle of it, but I think he gets away unscathed. He also has a 3-second time penalty, so everything matters here. DRS is enabled. CJ 1.4 seconds ahead of Luca. And I tell you who is under pressure is indeed Luca from Ryan Berry, who is only 3/10 behind. Meanwhile, Bazza and Say Sports, they're going for it again. Oh, actually, the two Williamses are going at it again, and they've actually had contact. Wet Lemons without a front wing now. So I'm not sure what's going on down in Williams, but they're not getting very nice, as that is Chris Johnson who's gone flying off the circuit. Wet Lemons gives him the place back, so I wonder if there's contact between them two as they're still going, but Wet Lemons ultimately giving it up. He's got no front wing. And unfortunately, that is his race gone for now, but then you never know, you might get another safety car later this race. Ryan Berry opens his DRS open. He's given the place to his teammate. He thinks his teammate, is he giving his teammate space? I don't think he is actually. I thought maybe saving the DRS would have been a strategic move. Lewis gets himself up to 8th place. This is crucial moves. He is now going to keep the lead of the championship as it stands, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, a little bit of contact between Wet Lemons and Chris Johnson. Again, these two need to be careful. I wonder if there's a little bit of head loss going on at the back of the grid. But Luca keeping TJ just on his toes slightly, 1.4 seconds. They've kind of matched each other's laps at the moment. But Ryan Berry is gaining. But it won't be enough. These guys sit behind each other for another lap. Jack Craig, 3/10 behind Daniel Wilner for P6. Lewis, by the way, he's got his brother ahead of him. This could get entertaining, I tell you that for a fact. If them two crash, oh, proper cinema that would be. Get the popcorn ready for that. Ryan Berry, that is definitely a warning. A warning he can't risk getting, especially if he wants to keep this third place. I have a feeling Deck might want to get past because he is losing time, more and more time, and if he wants this championship he's gonna have to unfortunately sacrifice friendships and all sorts. But no moves made there. Tell you what, Baz is giving Lewis a little bit of a fight. As Chris Johnson and Say Sports going at it again, the two Williamses going side by side again. And Wet Lemons gets past Say Sports again. Say Sports going to fight it back. No, he doesn't, not for now. I'll tell you what, these two Aston Martins are looking like really quick. I'm seeing a Ryan Berry P2 here, if he can manage his ERS correctly and can make the moves at the crucial chances and points. So here goes Ryan Berry, DRS open. Can he do anything? I don't think so, not this lap. Tell you what is going on back. Jack Craig and Daniel, they're still going at it. Tell you what, Lewis isn't actually gaining any time on his brother. It's just kind of, I wonder if he's got more than just front wing damage if he has it. I mean, P8 nevertheless isn't the worst result he could get, though he probably would rather get a podium or top 5. But yeah, Ryan Berry then. Pushing those hards, trying to keep with Luca. Luca, I think, is trying to keep with CJ, but it's becoming quite a task for the Mercedes driver, because he knows he's got that Aston Martin in that second window. I'll tell you who has a massive run is Deck. As here he goes into the braking zone. Deck moves himself up to 3rd place. Had to be a move which is done. He needed to make that move for a good place in the championship, because as it stands, this could be a position that could get him into the championship lead. I can't do maths, I'm not going to do the maths, but I can tell you for a fact that he would be getting 15 crucial points in this race compared to CJ's 25. So it might not put him in the lead, I'm not too sure, but it'll definitely get him past Dan Morris. I'm not sure about CJ though. It's his Deck fastest lap of the race. He is gunning for it. He has said, you know what, enough's enough. I'm sorry, teammate. I'm not gonna let you get this podium. I need this result more than you. Jack Craig, meanwhile, fighting Daniel Wilnut. Once again, he gets a bit loose. and he has to give up the place. Lewis and Bazza are fighting for this P8, by the way. So keep an eye on that. Lewis might not be having that result he wants, even before the safety car. But look at this, deck all over the back of Luca. And I tell you what, Deck gets DRS, which he will, and if he gets past Luca, he could be getting himself into DRS of CJ. Here he goes, DRS open. He's burning. Can he get past Luca? Luca's going to defend the inside line. Deck's going to take the outside line. Into the braking zone they go. Luca defends the racing line and just about holds him off. Luca now in DRS range of CJ. So, it's a three-way fight for the lead of this race. Dark Shadow, 3-second time penalty. Unlucky for him, he's 21 seconds off the lead of 21 seconds off the lead, 22 seconds behind Wet Lemons in 12th position. I'm not too sure what's happened to him. But yeah, so this is getting tasty. CJ just about pulling that second, I think, on... Oh no, maybe not. It manages to stay in DRS, does Lucas. So this could again be another plan of CJ's to help Luca keep Deck in third place, because Luca wouldn't have been able to defend without the DRS. Where if Luca's got the DRS, he can defend off Deck with the straight line speed. CJ could be pulling off another masterclass of a strategy. Or he's listening to my strategies and going, you know what? He's actually quite smart. But I'm presuming he's not, and he actually knows what he's doing, because he is leading the race for the second time. And I tell you what, back-to-back wins for CJ after all the bad luck he's had this season could be crucial for the Haas driver. As we go on to the straight, no one's going to be able to make moves because the gaps are just that big to do anything. Meanwhile, Jess and Ryan Berry. Is Jess going to send it down the inside of Ryan Berry? She had a look. Oh, that was close. Jack Craig, meanwhile, get fighting again with Daniel. As Daniel sends it down the inside, will Jack send it back down the inside? He is a little bit of contact. Jack gets really loose in the rear end and manages to keep it in a straight line. Just as Lewis catching up to Jack. So it's Bazza. So this fight for P6 could be getting that bit more intense, especially when you've got a title fighter down in the mix. Meanwhile, we go to lap 16 of the Texas Grand Prix, the USA Grand Prix. Will Luca be able to make a move on the start finish straight? Not this time. Meanwhile, Jess going to try and attack Brian Berry again. Sits behind. What about Jack Craig? Can he make a move on Daniel again? No, he can't. Say Sports getting past his teammate as Williams draw it out once again. I tell you what, I don't know what's happened to CJ, but he's lost a lot of time to Luca. The gap was down to 1/10 at one point. So nothing can separate these guys. But who will come out on top? Could Ryan Berry be on for his first win? If these guys crash, I was just saying Ryan Berry could win this race, which would be crazy. Luca then, 4 tenths behind CJ. Makes that 6 tenths. As Will Deck, he's got a little cheeky run. Does he have a cheeky run? No, he doesn't. He's going to have to sit behind again unless he sends it. Which I don't think is a smart move. He sits behind for now. Meanwhile, Ryan Berry and Jess side by side. Jess takes P4 off him. Jack Craig takes P6 from Daniel, who's going to try and go for the switch back. Can't make it stick for Lewis now into the DRS of these guys. As Wet Lemons gets past their sports. So, as Kaya's somehow just got a straight 3-second time penalty. Which is a new one. So yeah, we're going to start lap 17. 3 laps to go in this race. Who is going to win this race? Will it be Luca? Will it be Deck? Or will CJ be able to hang off to the lead of the race? Nothing happening so far into turn 1. So all cool and dry so far. We cut to the fight for P6. Oh, they've crashed. Jack facing the wrong direction, and I'm afraid to say that's pretty unbalanced. He just completely ran into the back of him. That moves Lewis into P6 though, so quite a crucial bit there from Lewis. Bit of luck for once tonight for Lewis. It might only be P6, but P6 is still P6. He could have pushed to get Ryan Berry's deck has disconnected from the session. That is not what you want to see. Can I invite him to the session and watch a game? I cannot, which is unfortunate. I don't know why the game's not letting me do that. But yeah, CJ then. He doesn't have to worry about deck anymore. He's disconnected. This happens. Always one title contender in the last 2 seasons disconnects and it costs them potentially the title. It cost Lewis the title really last season. Jess now into 3rd. Ryan Berry's going to overtake his teammate into 4th. This does throw another hammer into the works. I don't know what the saying is. Because Lewis now might be able to get P5 and Jess is now P3. So I think Jess might be in a really good position to take the title lead now. Actually no, because Jess is going to get Lewis is going to get P5. So I'm going to watch the move. There he goes. It's not using the VRS, but he's going to probably send it down instead. Gosh. Simple move there from Lewis, and move very much necessary. Can he gain the 3 seconds on deck before he joins back though? Is deck even able to join back? I don't know. Can I invite him through here? Do I have him on here? I don't even know. Acorn. I don't think I've got him on here. Oh, there he is. He's offline, but I'm going to give him an invite anyway. His whole internet might just die. Oh, Ryan Berry's also just... Aston Martin's having a meltdown in USA. The internet is not working in their favour. They can't afford the internet. By the sounds of it, step drops down to 9th. So, it's CJ versus Luca for the win of the race then. I apologise, Dom. As Ryan Berry drops down to 5th. Lewis into 4th then. You know what? After starting from last, he was last. Up to P4 now. Luck might have helped him a lot, but nevertheless, into P4. Can he keep that P4? He will maintain the lead of the championship if it stays like this. As we start lap 19, Kaya has spun once again. Chris Johnson and that's going to be really annoying me in the next few laps seeing the positions drop. So, who's going to win this race? Will it be CJ or will it be Luca? They're coming upon that yellow flag, which is not the nicest thing to come up with when you're leading the race because it can be quite a distraction. But, distraction gone. They don't need to worry about it because it doesn't affect an overtaking position, which it can do. Obviously, you're not allowed to overtake in yellow flag territory. But no issues then for CJ and Luca. As here we go then. Lewis has gone off. He's down to 6th. But it doesn't matter anyway. Well, it does matter. But Luca takes the lead of the race from CJ. It's lap 19, but we've still got a whole lap to go. And the DRS is so powerful. This might not be the end of the world for CJ. Lewis is going to try and fight Bazza up for 5th again. I'm not sure what happened to Lewis. Another spin. Maybe the medium's slightly dying off, but yeah. It's not been Lewis's night. It could have been P4. It can still be P4, but he's going to have to work for it. But this fight for the win, still very crucial. For CJ to get the points that he needs. Luca could probably do with a few points to finish higher in the standings. Here he goes. He's saving his ERS. He is not going to make the move on Luca this lap. Now, I've been in this position before. You want to be behind on the final DRS straight to get the position, to give you the win or the position, whoever you're fighting for position-wise. So, is it going to be Luca? Is it going to be CJ? My bet is on CJ with the position he is in with the DRS, but you never know what can happen. I think Jack Craig might have had a spin. He is down to P9 and might fall further down. Unfortunate for the Alpine driver. Wet Lemon's fastest lap of the race, down in 12th, though not going to be too impactful. Here we go then, final lap, final straight. CJ opens this DRS wide. He's burning everything he's got. Lucas burning everything he's got. He defends the inside line. Lucas going to try and outbrake CJ, who turns very much into him. That's very Max Verstappen, Lando Norris-esque as they go side by side. Again, there's more and more contact here as they go into turn 17 and into 15, sorry. CJ down the inside again. Lucas tries to go for the switch back, but CJ parks it on the apex. Pretty good defending there from CJ, who has managed to cook very well in the defending side of things all night. And I think CJ might have this win in the bag, unless Lucas sends it down the inside in the final corner, which would be a very crazy move. CJ is going to win again here in Australia, America. Back-to-back wins, and I'm sure he's going to be delighted with that, because that will definitely help his title chances. He is back in this title fight, that is for sure. Jess, P3, good result for her, puts her higher up in the championship. Daniel Wilnut, P4, great result from the RB driver. Lewis Craig, P5, after being all the way down in last at one point. I'm sure he'll take that. Bazar in the end, 6th place, good result from him. Chris Johnson, 7th, Say Sports, 8th. Ryan Berry's DNF going across the line. I don't know if that's going to stay or not. Deck will finish 9th after disconnection, not the best thing for him. Wet Lemons will finish 10th place. Jack Craig 11th, and Kaya, who has he left? No, definitely hasn't left. Will finish 13th and last. So, CJ then, you're leader of the championship, I believe now. I think it would be 15 points. 25, 15. Can I math? I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out next week, or you'll find out on the Twitter actually. Because I probably can't get it up in time for the stream to end, as we wait for Kaya to come across the line. It's not the best thing for him, you know. The fact he finishes these races, I have to give him respect for. He gets points every race by just finishing the race, so we have to give him credit for it. We very much have to give him credit for it, because a lot of people don't. They give up. Return pits, but Kaya doesn't. And someone else who doesn't give up, CJ, who has been at lows this season. He's at a new high, back-to-back weekend wins. And on the top step of the podium again, he gets the USA trophy. He lifts it in delight as his pickery once again being shown on the camera. They are delighted as he sprays Luca and Jess with bubbly water, as I believe they're not allowed to do champagne because one of these guys will be too young to drink alcohol in the USA. So CJ will be, I think, your championship leader. If not, I apologise, but he is your winner from USA and Singapore. Luca back-to-back P2s as well, by the way. Jess in 3rd, Daniel 4th, Lewis Craig 5th. Not the best result for him, but he'll take 5th, I'm sure, after the night he's had. Bazza 6th, Chris Johnson 7th, Say Sports 8th, Deck 9th, Wet Lemons 10th, Jack Craig 11th, Ryan Berry 12th, Dark Shallow 13th, and Darky and Stereogram DNF'd. I didn't say disconnected, but they didn't disconnect. And Jess. So that is your TGP2 race done for tonight. That was exciting. I can breathe now completely. And yeah, I'm quite annoyed with myself about Singapore spectating. Silly mistake from me, but it's what it is, I guess. So we go to the calendar, and it will be Qatar and Mexico. And next week, please join us. I should be, and I say should because I have nothing planned, so unless something comes out last minute, I should be here for those races, and I very much look forward to them. Qatar being a very fast circuit, and there's Mexico actually. It has a few slow corners, but Qatar especially just no slow corners at all. You're always going at least above 90 miles per hour. So yeah, that is your race for tonight. Your races, should I say? CJ domination, and will be leading. I'm not even going to say it. I want to say leading the championship. I'm not sure, but can Lewis, Jess, Deck, and Dan Morris, who comes back, I believe, next week, come back for CJ and stop the domination that he had this week? Find out next week. Good night.